Hello, everyone. GM would like to welcome to the stage Vivian Phung, founder of Snowball Tools, and her talk today is called Crypto Mobile and Mass Adoption.
Okay, so I just want to preference my voice completely shot, and so bear with me while I go through this. Okay. Okay, our industry. Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3. Every phase of development has raised new challenges for programmers, and each time these challenges were met with streamlined tools that lowered barriers to entries, eased processes, and paved the way for innovation, leading to significant breakthroughs. However, the tools needed to ease the burden of development in crypto on mobile have yet to be created. This is hampering a wave of innovation, creation, and adoption. We are building Snowball to address these issues head on and help usher in a new generation of engineering. Before we get into what we're building, I want to take a step back and talk through a few stories about the recent past. Early web development for desktop was a mess. For instance, each company had to run their own web servers. Deploying and hosting a website took a lot of steps. And if you messed up at any point, your site could go down. You may have blown up your whole production database. So many errors could have occurred without even considering the actual code. Next came cloud services, providers like AWS and Google Cloud, which enabled firms to move away from independently owning their hardware or rack space. You could spin up as many virtual machines as you'd like. These outsourced services provided necessary resources without the upfront costs, radically accelerating the pace of development. Barriers to entries were lowered. This opened the door for many more developers to write, maintain, and continuously deploy apps more easily. While helpful, tools like AWS and Google Cloud were still difficult and tedious, which led to new offerings like Heroku and Vercel. These services provided beautiful UX, simplified launching UI, and web applications through a single platform, saving enormous amount of time and further accelerating development. Today, it's pretty incredible. A website takes as little as 10 minutes to deploy. All right, so when we look at recent history of mobile app development, we see a similar story. 10 years ago, it was a highly manual process. Just getting on the App Store was painful and complex, given the requirements about screen sizes, properly sized screenshots, build validation, and necessary certificates. Again, this is draining a huge amount of time, resources, and creating a barrier to entry for new builders. Fastlane changed the game. Suddenly, these crazy screenshots and certificate requirements could be automated, and a more seamless process was born. Still, it was time-consuming, and there was much to improve. Being CI-based, Fastlane lacked intuitive UI, struggled with the documentation, so there was a high level of knowledge and time required to build and deploy using Fastlane. After a series of acquisitions, Fastlane hasn't evolved much in the past few years, which leads us to where we are today. Streamlining mobile development for crypto. Let's say you want to do XYZ in Web 2. For example, you want to build a blog, you want to build a storefront. On Vercel, you can do that in 10 minutes or less using a template app. In crypto, you want to do a simple dApp. It takes way, way longer to do anything of that sort. As I previously mentioned, tools like Heroku and Vercel allowed developers to deploy a website in as little as 10 minutes. Their templates in many languages and frameworks enable developers to automate, build, and deploy through something as simple as a commit. But this is all still complicated and time-consuming when it comes to building for mobile. Building out UI, user authentication, databases, API, remote notifications, Apple Pay, and submitting the app to the App Store review takes forever. Streamlining web development infrastructure like Vercel lets just about any dev launch an app through a unified platform, but this still doesn't exist for mobile applications. There's no wonder why more engineers focus on web rather than mobile. Few companies are thinking about the mobile developer experience. It seems like only enterprise-based engineers with years of experience building and deploying mobile can actually play in the space. Crypto makes application development even more complicated by requiring authentication, authorization, smart contract deployment, indexing chain data, and so much more. The level of technical expertise remains extremely high. Stitching together each piece is a nightmare. Development requires navigating a series of companies, systems, and possibly the different infra for each chain needing to be mended together. It goes without saying, this labor is intensive. Building for mobile is even more, a higher hurdle, leading most crypto apps to be built for web. At Snowball, we believe that the future of crypto is mobile. Hard as that may sound, most people in developing countries do not have a desktop computer. And yet crypto, especially, developers are not building for the audience with the most to gain from crypto adoption. For crypto to fulfill its promise of changing the world, it needs to scale on mobile. That's why we built Snowball, because it empowers devs with better tools, especially for mobile. We can open up crypto for the rest. We can open up crypto for the rest of the world. We're following the lead of previous companies that offer the same simplified DevX web development. That is, we're making it much more simple, less time-consuming to ship applications to consumers so you can focus on what matters most, the product. We want to grow the market and for new developers from new places to build original projects people want to use, not just another Twitter clone. Let's enable developers to build crypto web and PWAs on both iOS and Android with integrated infrastructure that matches the Web 2 experience today. Okay, so do you need to index your smart contract? Give us your API, give us your smart contract address. We work with providers like Laconic, Gold Sky. If you want remote notifications, baked in users and profiles, Forecaster, Lens integration, use one of our template apps. And you want to deploy your application to the App Store, Google Play Store, to the web, your PWA or website. We got that for you. History repeats itself. Technology moves in cycles. In each prior phase, streamlining tools simplifies processes, lowers barriers to entry, and unleashes a wave of innovation in new projects. The same will happen in crypto mobile, and Snowball will be a big part in making that real. And so we actually have an MVP that is working right now. We're shipping PWAs, any commit to whatever development branch you want, we'll deploy. And it's a streamlined process, similar to any Web 2 experience with like Web 3 components like authentication, authorization, on and off ramping, and account abstraction. You pick your provider. We work with them all, and then we're a multi-chain. So thank you so much. And does anyone have any questions? Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vivian, for that really inspirational talk.